In very late 2016 and early 2017, I released my first stop-motion series in Transformers: The Awakening Parts 1 through 3. Several years later, after finishing its attached continuity I deemed the Awakening Saga, I felt pretty unsatisfied with the universe that I had created. So I decided, what the heck? Why not remake the Awakening 3-parter as a film and elevate it to my standard of editing and production quality of my more recent films, maybe also opening the door for more remakes. So I did that. I made the Awakening remake for the 5-year anniversary of the original first part, and it did very well. As of recording, it is my most viewed normal form video to date, and I'm very proud of what that accomplished. As I worked on it, I internally called the project Reawakening, which sort of spawned this idea in my head to redo the entire Awakening saga, but do it a billion times better, this time calling it the Reawakening continuity, which I have done. If you've seen the playlist, currently there are 5 installments, including the Awakening remake. As I've been working on expanding this reimagining, I often look back on the remake with less of a positive light when it comes to the future of the continuity. When considering which characters I include, which I don't, it becomes kind of confusing, especially when you look at the other continuities I have going. I've made it pretty clear that with the 3 different continuities I'm working on growing, I want zero overlap. I don't want live-action characters showing up in the RAC or in Galaxy Force. I don't want Unicron Trilogy characters showing up in the Crisisverse or the RAC. But unfortunately, with the remake, that rule that I set for myself goes out the window, and it's the only one to break it so far. So with this less than optimistic hindsight I have on the Awakening remake, I thought to myself once again, what the heck? Let's try this one more time. So yes, I will once again be remaking The Awakening. I've already finished working on the script's first draft, and it's already much longer and does way more than I wanted to with the first remake. More character spotlight, more action, more depth, more substance to these beloved Transformers characters that will continue to define what the RAC is all about. When might this be coming out, you may or may not be asking? Well, it just so happens that next year, November 17th, 2026, is the 10-year anniversary of the original Awakening Part 1. So what better way to celebrate 10 years of me doing this crazy thing than by making the definitive telling of The Awakening? I know this has a lot riding on it. I already remade it. Can't I just be happy with what we did, how successful it was for the channel, and move on? I want to. I really do. But I cannot in good conscience let this blemish on my 3 continuities continue. I want this to be a celebration of Transformers stop motion, and a celebration of 10 years of my own stop motion journey. Believe me when I say that this will be the best Awakening I'll do. And no more remakes of this 3-parter after that, I promise. Like I said, the conflicting styles of live action and animation and otherwise is one of the big reasons for me doing this. But also a lot of this is just because I know I can do better on a technical and story level. There will be some jarring changes that ripple into the sequel of the remake, New Arrivals. For instance, I'm not using the Transformers Prime Voyager Optimus for this final remake since I just cannot stand working with that figure anymore. So in the next remake, it'll be Earthrise Optimus I use, then in New Arrivals, I'll still have Transformers Prime Optimus, then the films after that will be back to Earthrise. On top of that, we're going to be moving away from using Transformers Prime figures sort of in general. Stylistically, for the RAC, I'm wanting to really lean into the Generations style. It might be kind of jarring for people who will be watching them chronologically, but I don't intend on remaking New Arrivals, so unfortunately that's out of my control. Then for things like in New Arrivals, seeing Landmine just walking around there, it's, that'll most certainly be confusing, but I think down the road I'll have something planned potentially that might fix that little issue, but I'll have to get everything in order to work on that. So I guess stay tuned. There's a little tease for some possible future shenanigans. But of course, I do hope you enjoy what I've got planned for both this remake as well as the RAC. Genuinely, since I made the first remake in 2021, I have been writing, rewriting, and rewriting again stories for the RAC. 4 years of script drafts that will never see the light of day probably. but there's a big narrative plan for this universe, and I intend to see it through. I know that release date of over a year from now seems like a ways away, but there's still plenty in the pipeline for me to work on until then. Prime Target is still coming out soon, but to better line up with the Reawakenings script, I made some adjustments and will be reshooting the film soon. So unfortunately it'll be a bit longer before PT releases, but I'm excited for when it finally releases. I think this will be the film that really sets apart the RAC from the original Awakening saga, so of course I'm very excited for you all to see it. And I'll be working on other films in the meantime as well, Star Wars and otherwise, which I know isn't news for people who only watch the Transformers stop motions, but it's yet another thing I love working on and am extremely passionate about. But anyway, that's enough of me yapping. If you probably couldn't tell, I'm a passionate speaker when it comes to divulging plans and telling stories, so I appreciate you taking the time to listen if you made it the whole way. I know I sound like a broken record, but there really is so much. There's so much to look forward to on the channel, and I greatly appreciate you coming along for the ride. Take care, stay safe, stay awesome, be good people, until all are one.